Good morning, evening, or night, wherever you are. Welcome to WHAM today. Take a deep breath, clear your mind, and let's drift through the whispers of today's world, one quiet thought at a time. As we wrap up Sunday, 25th May 2025, let's see what stories are unfolding around us. India's stock market is consolidating, with the Nifty 50 facing resistance around 25,200 support, near 24,500. Near-term market drivers include Q4 results, FY25, and Q4 GDP data, F&O expiry, foreign fund flow, and global cues. Good Financial Services anticipates strong performance from it and pharma stocks. ETC, Biofinance, and Infosys are among the companies trading ex-dividend starting May 26, 2025, and several IPOs are planned for Dalal Street. The Reserve Bank of India's Rs. 2.7 lakh crore dividend is expected to enhance India's fiscal standing. Apple is investing $1.50 billion to expand iPhone production via Foxconn, despite warnings from Donald Trump. The country is also developing an integrated cyber shield, while Bangladesh has cancelled a $21 million defense agreement with India's Grace firm. Russia launched a major drone and missile attack on Kyiv and other regions of Ukraine, resulting in at least 12 deaths, while a subsequent attack on Kyiv caused 3 more fatalities. Amidst the continued conflict, Russia and Ukraine are still conducting prisoner exchanges, with Moscow recently announcing a large swap completion. Ukrainian President Zelensky is urging new sanctions against Russia following an overnight attack, accusing Moscow of protracting the war. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov has rejected the Vatican as a possible location for peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Adding to the military reshuffle, Russia has appointed the commander of the Mariupol siege as its new land forces chief. The increasingly strained Russian war economy may be pushing Moscow toward potential negotiations. Russian lawmakers are now seeking the authority to disregard Western company buyback options, and in a sign of escalating costs, Russia has classified its budget. China is actively promoting true multilateralism in collaboration with Indonesia. The country is seeing increased investment from Hong Kong and mainland China targeting properties in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, with firms like Gaw Capital and Black Spade Capital showing significant interest. Chinese airlines are facing competition from high-speed bullet trains, particularly on routes like Beijing-Shanghai, due to the train's flexibility, comfort, and reliable internet access. Alibaba's WHAM app has introduced an English-language ride-hailing feature to accommodate foreign visitors, aligning with China's visa-free travel initiative. The nation has published draft guidance concerning fees charged by online platforms to merchants. Additionally, Nvidia intends to release a less expensive version of its Blackwell AI chip specifically for the Chinese market, adapting to U.S. export restrictions. Brewed, a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, has surpassed Tesla in European EV sales. Turning to Indonesia, the nation is collaborating with China to promote true multilateralism. Australia faces investor unease due to Nvidia's earnings report and broader anxieties about rising US yields and debt. Bloomberg reports that opposition parties are poised for a coalition comeback. Meanwhile, Anton Tagliaferro describes the Australian stock market as currently confusing. Adding to economic worries, a growing number of new electric vehicles are reportedly ending up as scrap in what's described as an untold EV crisis. Turning to China, HSBC suggests Chinese companies are capitalizing on tensions between the US and China to grow their presence in international markets. In Hong Kong, the government believes that the city can play a crucial role in backing Beijing's vision of a cooperative global system, especially amidst perceptions that the U.S. is undermining multilateral norms and engaging in bullying tactics in trade. Saudi Arabia sees Teneo. Appoint Abdulmajid Y. Al-Shamek as a managing director in Riyadh. The nation's stock market faced a setback, with the Tadawul All-Share Index dropping 1.69%. Nvidia has secured a substantial $600 billion AI partnership with Saudi Arabia's Humane. This moves the Middle East to the forefront of AI advancement. The kingdom is prioritizing human-centered travel within its tourism strategy. Over 61,000 Bangladeshis have arrived in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj. Riyadh's airport was recognized for its punctuality, leading Saudi airport rankings in April, according to Dhaka data. The evolving roles of women in Saudi Arabia require cultural understanding. Footballer Kim Min-jae is weighing a move to either the Premier League or a Saudi Arabian team. Ukraine continues to be embroiled in conflict with Russia, evidenced by recent drone and missile exchanges that have resulted in casualties and significant infrastructure damage in both Kyiv and Moscow. Following these attacks, Ukraine and Russia conducted a prisoner exchange involving dozens of individuals from both sides, a small but vital step amid ongoing hostilities. Turning to the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has overseen some economic improvements, though his personal approval ratings have yet to reflect these gains. The UK is also seeing major shifts in its railway system, highlighted by the renationalization of its first train operator and the Labour reforms. The UK economy may also face challenges from potential tariffs imposed by Europe if policies advocated by Donald Trump are enacted. Air India was identified as the most delayed airline operating from UK airports during 2024, causing frustration for travellers. A notable trend is the departure of significant wealth from the UK, illustrated by the heir to the $27 billion Bharti fortune, joining this exodus. South Korea faces significant economic and political challenges, including potential shifts in its relationship with the United States. Presidential frontrunner Lee Jae-myung has identified U.S. tariff negotiations as a key issue for the incoming administration, suggesting a need for extended talks. Adding to these concerns, the editorial board suggests that South Korea should prepare for possible reductions in the U.S. military presence. Economically, the Bank of Korea is expected to significantly lower its GDP growth forecast to below 1%. Ahead of the presidential election, investors are closely watching market stimulus promises. In financial market regulation, South Korea now mandates pre-training for investors seeking to trade overseas leveraged ETFs and derivatives. Meanwhile, cryptocurrency exchange Bitham has recovered 25% of its market share in Korea as it prepares for its IPO. Japan is currently grappling with intricate economic and trade dynamics. Prime Minister Ishiba is keen to push forward tariff negotiations with the U.S., especially leveraging the upcoming G7 summit as a platform. Ryosei Akazawa, the tariff negotiator, recently concluded a third round of talks in Washington and foresees a possible encounter with U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent in subsequent discussions. However, export figures reveal a slowdown, notably with shipments to the U.S. decreasing after tariffs were imposed. Concurrently, Japan's superlong bond yields have surged to unprecedented levels, signaling market anxiety regarding demand. Inflation is also a concern. Core inflation has hit a 2-year peak, increasing speculation about a potential year-end rate hike by the Bank of Japan. Ka hosted the Table Tennis World Championships, an event that has garnered limited local enthusiasm. Simultaneously, an investigation is underway concerning a wealthy Qatari businessman's campaign to head the sport's global body, and one of his outspoken critics was reportedly detained in Doha. Turning to the United States, The House passed a Republican policy bill that would eliminate federal subsidies for electric vehicles, a move that could inflate EV prices and hinder domestic manufacturing. President Trump further stoked economic uncertainty by threatening a 50% tariff on imports from the European Union and a 25% tariff on Apple products, citing stalled trade talks. This is despite his prior announcement to pause heavy tariffs on countries around the world until July. These threats have negatively impacted Wall Street, European stocks, and Apple. The German minister has urged serious talks with the US on tariffs. In developments concerning China and Indonesia, Apple's strategic decision to pursue its IPO in Hong Kong, as opposed to New York, coupled with its involvement in Indonesia's green transition initiatives, reveals underlying geopolitical consideration. Furthermore, the sovereign wealth funds of both China and Indonesia are strengthening their investment partnerships. Meanwhile, Myanmar is grappling with a surge in the extraction of rare earth minerals within Kachin state, resulting in tragic loss of life and significant environmental degradation. Activists are exploring opportunities to harness the region's independence movement as a means of addressing these critical issues. Tragically, in Israel, 9 of a doctor's 10 children were killed during the country's latest military strikes in Gaza. Shifting focus to Iran, Iranian dissident filmmaker Jafar Panahi was awarded the prestigious 2025 Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival for his revenge thriller, It Was Just an Accident. Across Asia and within the global economy, Asian shares experienced mostly gains, buoyed by cautious optimism surrounding a US-China agreement. The chairman of Alibaba suggested that Asian firms should seek growth opportunities outside the US belt. A record global turnout was recorded in Taiwan, which was spotlighted as an AI powerhouse. In Taiwan, the winning numbers for the March-April Uniform Invoice Lottery have been officially released. Kuwait has authorized its investment authority to engage in borrowing from international sources, while simultaneously empowering its central bank to borrow domestically. Transitioning to Japan and Georgia, after an absence of 25 years, Georgia's leading liaison with Japan has returned to Tokyo from Atlanta as an expatriate. Over in Italy, Italy's railway is reportedly considering testing Elon Musk's Starlink technology for integration into its various projects. In Uzbekistan, Tui Air successfully completed a landmark flight connecting Seoul and Tashkent. Moving to the Philippines, the Korean fast food chain Loteria has announced its plans to expand its presence by launching in the Philippines. Finally, in Saudi Arabia, the construction of extraordinarily tall architectural structures serves as a powerful demonstration of the kingdom's ambitious business objectives. And that's a wrap for today's news, because even headlines need a nap. Stay curious, stay kind, and let the noise fade as you find your quiet. Take care, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time on WHAM Today.